Let's get to some overnight line movers, Teddy. SBRodds.com, the best place on the internet to check those odds. They're moving all the time. Check it out through sportsbookreview.com, right at SBR odds. Kershaw back, but the betting public, Teddy, not jumping on it like we used to here. So it's peeling back a little bit. Markets opened as high as minus 180, but now downshifting to minus 155. It's going to be Castillo and Kershaw tonight, Teddy. And look, I mean, the Reds, not the greatest start to the season offensively, but they do have a hot pitcher on the mound tonight. So that number moving back, not really surprising to me tonight.
Yeah, and of course, this is all wise guy money. Make no mistake about it. This is not the betting public saying we don't like Clayton Kershaw anymore after Kershaw's been cashing tickets for them for the last 10 years. But there is some respect for Cincy in the marketplace. Obviously, a couple of former Dodgers coming to town, and Yasiel Puig and Matt Kemp, two guys that are off to slow starts, but two guys who have hit well in this venue. And of course, you talked about Cincy. Prior to yesterday's loss, they'd won 4 in a row. Manager David Bell, quote, guys have responded. They've stayed ready on certain days that they're not playing, and they're playing well. Since he's a good, a team that I think has some bet-on potential this year. The Dodgers, they lost 5 in a row before they won yesterday. Markets not excited about LA as a big favorite today. Not surprised, like you, that the money's come on Cincy.
Cardinals Brewers markets opened up at 9, Teddy, shifting to 9.5. The Cardinals played in sunny Mexico over the weekend. Now getting back to some, I should say conference play, but obviously divisional play versus the Brewers minus 135 total at 9.5. Hudson and Peralta on the mound tonight.
Yeah, a lot of concerns about Peralta. You want to talk about 3 starts that have been as dichotomous as it gets. He lasted 3 innings against the Cards in his debut. Got blasted in that game. 4 runs in those 3 innings. He got blasted against the Angels in his last start. Couldn't make it out of the 4th in that game. 7 runs and 8 hits in a bad loss. In between, he faced Cincinnati and threw 8 innings of shutout ball. Gave up only 2 hits during that span. It's worth noting both bad starts. He got lit up right away. First inning, gave up 3 in the first against the Cards. Gave up 6 in the first against the Angels. So the market's not really sold on Peralta necessarily right now. Shutting St. Louis down by any stretch of the imagination. And then you look at Dakota Hudson, a guy who was a bullpen pitcher last year, didn't give up a run in his first 2 outings this season. He had a 2-out save, then he lasted 4 2/3, shut down the Dodgers in that ball game. But certainly, when we talk about Hudson, this is not a guy that's likely to throw 7 strong. I'm not shocked at all. We've seen over money coming in this game with 2 starting pitchers the markets do not trust.
Clippers and the Warriors, Teddy. We're going to cover this in depth in just a few moments in the next segment, but just some interesting line movements here. Opened up as high as 14.5. I'm actually seeing, Teddy, on SBRodds.com as low as 13 now at some outlets across the board. Interesting, when we were setting the script up this morning, the total was around 230.5, 231, but this one actually skyrocketed. Chris Offshore, Teddy, now showing a 234. So those people that said, hey, unders were the way to go, looking for that over today because they're betting it.
Yeah, exactly. And the pace was there. In game 1, the 3-point shooting percentages for either squad was not there. The market's expecting some, and Curry was draining 3s, but the rest of the Warriors weren't. And the Clips did not have a great shooting game from downtown. Even Louis Williams off the bench wasn't brilliant from beyond the arc, and their starters weren't very good at all. Game 1, it was 49% shooting for Golden State to 40% for the Clips. The market's saying with the money coming on LA and the money coming on the over, say, this time around, we expect the Clippers to be able to push pace with Golden State, maybe to be able to score with them for extended stretches, something they couldn't do in game 1.